Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video here on Bitcoin and the crypto markets, of course. But we're going to do a full update on Bitcoin, on XRP. Great voice crack there at the start, and just in general about what to expect, right? What to expect from the market right now. When I made the video this morning, I thought we would drop down lower, which we did. I mean, we dropped down into 102.1. But ultimately, I thought we would drop down a little bit lower for multiple reasons. I mean, first of all, we broke down below the value area low right here, which technically is a bearish confirmation. We had some volume with the selling, and that has also changed. We had a stock market that was quite bearish, right? And what you can see so far, the U.S. market opened about 45 minutes ago. Is that the stock market has bounced up very, very nicely. Now, that is something I do think you need to be aware of, some risks here, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But ultimately, if we go over all the fundamentals right now across the markets, stock market opened bullish. We have a Coinbase Bitcoin premium. Over the course of the weekend, we had some FUD, or at least we had some bad news about the US credit rating. And in general, I do think that matters. But ultimately, the main statistics, which, sure, it matters, but ultimately you can only judge how much it matters based on the statistics. And if you take a look at the bond yields right now, which I can look up really quickly right here. If you take a look at the bond yields, they're actually down, all right? They're actually down over the course of today. No, over the course of today, that is not true, but they're actually down after the New York opening, right? So that means that the credit rating is not necessarily the start of something. In my eyes, it's more the result of the things we have already seen, all right? And the things that we have already seen are already priced in, all right? So therefore, I'm pretty bullish on the markets. I mean, the volatility index, about the general financial markets, volatility index, aka instability, is also dropping down. So ultimately, this is good news. And then, like I said, there's also some indication with the Coinbase Bitcoin premium going up higher, that there's some specific buying coming into Bitcoin, coming into crypto. The volume is also quite high over the course of the start of this New York opening. So ultimately, I always told you, I think we're going to find support. I thought we would find support a little bit lower, to be completely honest with you, but this is price action as expected, all right? And we also this morning talked about all the imbalances we have to the upside, but the main balance that Bitcoin has is between 102.7 and 104.5. That is the balance. That's where most of the value is traded, and I think we'll stay in that. Now, do I think we're strong enough to get a bullish breakout? That's a very good question. Ultimately, do I think it's a possibility? Yes. Do I think a bullish breakout is more likely than a bearish breakdown? Yes, as well. However, we just have to go off of what we see with the markets, right? The main area I think you need to keep an eye on if you want to see if we can get a bullish breakout is between 104.5, my apologies, and 105. That, in my opinion, even though we did not really respect that over the course of the last 24 hours, I would say that's the main area to keep an eye on. If we break above that with volume is incredibly important, then we can get a bullish breakout. But for now, I would say it's most likely that yes, this is a bottom. There's only two things you do need to know. First of all, fundamentals, all right, instability. Trump, for example, is talking with Ukraine and Russia today. If we get some super bearish fundamental news, we are going to drop down lower, right? I think that goes without saying. But then outside of that, what you also need to know is that the S&P 500 opened lower. So it's filling the gap right now. If we get a very strong bearish reaction after filling the gap, something like this, then we could also still drop down lower. So could we drop down lower? Yes, because we are in a range. However, given the volume, given the way all the financial market statistics are looking, I would say for Bitcoin, it's a little bit more likely to do a little bit to do a little something like this. I can talk very well this afternoon, as you can see, and I don't see any reason to get a bullish breakout, not in the volume and not in the price action so far. But I do think a bullish breakout is more likely down the line, rather than a bearish breakdown. But I'll still keep you updated on that later. Now, talking about our one of our favorite coins right here, XRP. XRP bounced from support as expected. It's relatively weak, it's relatively stable. What I would expect is exactly the same as what I said this morning, and that is stability. All right, so stability on top of 2.26, 2.25, 2.28, and ultimately also a move into 2.41, 2.44 to test and to see if we can break above that. At this point of time, I don't see enough strength, not in the open interest, not in the volume to actually break above that. So I would say this is most likely. Talking about some other altcoins, I mean, there's quite some coins that are moving. Alpha, for example, is moving quite a lot. BB, so that's Bounce Bit, is moving quite a lot as well. At this point of time, I'm mostly focusing on the higher market cap coins. Some other lower market cap coins that are interesting, I would say, are Kaito, Athena as well. Those both have quite high market caps, but still. And then when we're talking about the higher market caps, I think SUI is definitely one you should keep your eyes on, right? So SUI is trying to get back into this balance right here, just reclaimed, or at least it's trying to reclaim 3.69, and it looks like if you judge it based on the volume, we're going to be able to do that. In which case, if we're able to hold that reclaim, in which case we can actually rally up higher here. So that's the one I'd want to focus on, and I want to direct your focus on that. But that's it for now, and ultimately I think Bitcoin is by far the best crypto to trade. But that's what I think you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know, not in the comments, but on Telegram and Discord, because the comments are filled with bots. But that's it for now, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.